should be able to, or people who need to step out to pray also should be able to do that while the rest of us continue with this. And it is not possible to finish everything that we have on the other paper today, but let's keep going. And when it comes to a point where we need to step down the rest, we will do that. Thank you, sir.
Minority Leader.
It's not a motion. It's not. It's just adaptation. It's not a motion now. Not a motion.
Mr. President, may I move? Mr. President, I stand to move that the Senate adjourns for a period of 10 minutes. For a period of 10 minutes. 30 minutes. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, as a Democrat, I move that the Senate hereby adjourn for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes to enable to refresh and come back to continue.
Distinguished colleagues, the leader of the Senate has moved that the Senate should have a brief recess of 30 minutes and come back to continue its function. So may I invite the Minority Leader to probably second the motion if he deems fit.
Mr. President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, I hereby stand to second the motion moved by the Leader of the House that do take Leader of the Senate that we do take 30 minutes recess and come back to continue the business of the day. I so second, sir.
Distinguished colleagues, a motion has been moved for 30 minutes recess by the leader and seconded by the Minority Leader that with this Senate should stand adjourned for just brief 30 minutes and resume by 4:30. Those in support of the motion that we take a brief recess and resume our sittings by 4:30, say aye. Those against say nay. You see, the ayes have it. But I don't have to carry the mic. Do we? I'll just take this side.
I'll close it by 9.
The other one was for Mr. Nasir.
You don't mean it.
I thought you intentionally.
How would I do it intentionally?
My sister.
I'm supposed to come here again.
Me too, I was surprised though when I didn't see it.
Wow.
Did you know?
No, if I'm going to
Well, at this time, the Senate decided to take a brief break now because of, some of the senators are calling for a brief rest. Well, at the moment, 4 nominees have been screened. Today they started with the former governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, followed by Adebayo Olawale Edun, then former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, and then architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa. Well, these 4 nominees have been screened, and actually today, it's a little bit different from yesterday, because yesterday we have most of the nominees who were either members of the Senate, former members of Senate or House of Representatives, and then some of them too could not really go to as far as some of the nominees went today for questioning. And particularly today, I observed that the senators are particularly interested in the issue of the economy. In fact, they dwelt most on the issue of economy. You know, they tried to inquire from the nominees what their plans would be in making sure at least that is an improvement in Nigerian economy. Well, before they will come back to the chamber, they say in the next 10 minutes they will be reconvening to continue with the screening. And so far, I have some of the senators here who want to tell us how they've observed today's screening and how they feel about it. Let's start with the senator from Akwa Ibom State, Senator Asokwa Banyang. Please come in. Thank you very much. Now, yes, so far the screening, 4 nominees have been screened. How will you describe the process at the moment?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, it's Cross River South. That's my constituency. Today has been exhilarating. We've spent most of the afternoon screening the nominees from Mr. President. We first took on His Excellency David Umahi, who is a colleague of ours, and then we went on to El Rufai and to Wale Edun and last architect Dangewa. The quality of nominees have been exceptional. As you can see, the screening process for the screening session for Wale Edun took almost 2 hours, and that shows the seriousness with which the Senate takes this task. We grilled him on questions about the economy, on monetary and fiscal policy, and his intentions, his plans to shore up revenue for the country. Of course, we know today that Nigeria has a revenue problem, but beyond that, we even delved into the foreign exchange issues and distortions in the market. So we had very important questions, and he excelled in answering the briefs that we asked of him, and he shows a lot of confidence and has reposed a lot of confidence, I'm sure, with Nigerians who are watching this session live. We are going on a very short break, just about 30 minutes for those who want to pray, for those who want to grab a snack, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to keep at it, and probably going to go until early hours of the night to make sure we screen as many ministerial nominees as possible.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Now we also have a senator here, Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, how will you describe the process compared yesterday?
Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA from the ministerial screening session at the National Assembly. I'm Naja Atutijani. We begin with news from Benin Republic, where President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Cotonou to attend the 63rd anniversary of the Republic of Benin. President Tinubu was received on arrival at the Cotonou airport by the country's senior coordinating minister, Biochan, and Foreign Affairs Minister Olusegun Ajadi. The president, who is also the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, was invited as a special guest of President Patrice Talon for the ceremony. Lately, Nigeria and Benin are looking at how to strengthen their long-existing relationship, as President Tinubu has drawn the attention of the Beninois leader to the need to review and strengthen cultural, trade and economic relations between their two countries, highlighting joint border patrol by the customs and harmonizing regulations on the front lines. Back home in Nigeria, the Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, Beatrice Jediagba, has reacted to the purported intention of the Nigeria Labour Congress to embark on industrial action by Wednesday, 2nd August 2023. In a statement, She says it is a settled principle of law that all parties in a dispute before the National Industrial Court of Nigeria should maintain status quo and not resort to self-help. The Justice Ministry notes that while it is the NLC's right to demand for better workers' welfare, it would be in the best interest of all to allow the court fully decide on the labor-related matters as they relate to this case and allow government to provide palliatives for Nigerians. Meanwhile, the founding member of the All Progressives Congress and Director General of Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Osita Okechukwu, has enjoined the leadership of labor unions to shelve all plans for strike action, urging the labor leaders to instead support President Bola Tinubu to bail all Nigerians from the economic stranglehold of the 1% class of deep pockets. Reacting to President Tinubu's nationwide broadcast, Okechukwu advises Labour to calm down so as not to set Nigeria's fragile democracy ablaze, stressing President Tinubu, being one of this 1% deep pocket, going by paradox of history, stands in good stead to bail Nigerians out of the stranglehold of these unelected individuals wielding enormous influence and posing serious threat to the integrity of our democracy. The Von DG stresses that President Tinubu needs to unbundle our economy from the hands of rent takers, which our constitution frowns at, and labor leaders should provide constructive criticism rather than set back the economy with real action, as it may not achieve the desired objective. Rather, it may unfortunately drive us from fire to total economic frying pan, says Okechukwu, who therefore calls on labor leaders to embrace dialogue instead and consider the future of this great nation. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, says he's deeply concerned about the recent developments regarding planned nationwide protests by the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, while being mindful of the right to peaceful protest as enshrined in the Constitution. The Acting Inspector General of Police urges all parties involved to ensure that the planned demonstrations are conducted in a peaceful manner to prevent being hijacked by miscreants owing to the previously ugly experiences of such protests in most major cosmopolitan cities in the country. While acknowledging the grievances raised by the labor unions and the importance of constructive dialogue, the acting IGP, however, orders the commissioners of police in charge of various commands and supervisory assistant inspectors general of police to engage in fruitful discussions with the NLC TUC leadership to foster understanding and reach common ground on the planned protest, but stresses that any attempt by miscreants to exploit the situation for violent purposes will be met with firm, professional and commensurate lawful approach. Parties in a petition filed by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the February 25, 2023 election have adopted their final written addresses before the Presidential Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja. The counsel to the petitioners in this matter, Chris Uche, SAN, in his admiration pleaded with the court to grant the prayers of the petitioners. Chris Uche pleaded with the court to dismiss all the preliminary objections to the admissibility of some exhibits which should be used in the determination of the petitioner's case, while the counsel to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Wole Olanipekun, urged the court to dismiss the case. Urged the court to dismiss the petition rather for lacking in merit. The counsel to INEC, Abubakar Mahmood, SAN, and counsel to APC, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, appealed to the Presidential Election Petition Court to dismiss the petition as the petitioners failed to discharge the burden placed upon them by law. In this matter, Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party are the petitioners, while INEC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the All Progressives Congress are the respondents. After the adoption of the final written addresses, the Presidential Election Petition Court is expected to deliver its judgment in the petition at a later date. Rulings on all the preliminary objections in this petition have been reserved alongside the judgment on the main petition. Meanwhile, experts in social development have identified the cooperation and support by the society as an essential tool to achieving effective service delivery in the justice sector. Arising from this, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, is advocating a collaborative approach to ensure justice is served to all and sundry. Olabode Arewa reports.
Right from his assumption of office as Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola's mantra to all judicial officers and their support staff has been that they should uphold the tenets of probity, hard work, and efficiency in the discharge of their duties. This message was re-echoed by the administrator of the National Judicial Institute when he addressed court registrars, bailiffs, and commissioners of votes at a capacity-building workshop on court services in Abuja. As one of the shoulders on which rests the operations of the judiciary, he advised them to always adhere strictly to the code of conduct for court support staff.
As the need for improvement in terms of transparency, productivity, and efficiency in judicial dynamic, as such, your efforts in this regard must continue to work in progress if we must attain the best global practices. As you are all aware that as officers in charge of day-to-day activities in our courts, your attitude and conduct towards court users must be that of courtesy and accountability.
Chinedu Williams Achebe is one of the participants at the workshop.
We come here to update ourselves, both in processes and other things that has to do with the judiciary.
A mini silence was held in honor of Justice Santos Chimanweze of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, who passed on this Monday. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Now, there's a fire outbreak in Yola Market. We'll now link up with Bilkisu Abubakar, who is at the market, to give us a situation report on the fire outbreak. Bilkisu, can you hear me?
This is Yola Market, and this is the line where the grinding machine, the lines of grinding and milling machines. Grinding machines, milling machines, grains, food and non-food items worth millions of naira were burned down to ashes here in Yola main market following the fire outbreak that engulfed the market just last night. The incidents occurred at around 10 o'clock last night, where the victims are still counting their losses. Though the cause of the inferno is yet to be ascertained, the victim suspects that it could be as a result of the linking cylinder that has been burst that was kept in one of the shops in the grinding machine shop. Beside me is one of the victims in person of Alfred Abraham. Mr. Alfred, how will you describe the inferno that has butted in this market last night?
This incident happened yesterday in the night around 9 to 10 as we are at home. Just one of my colleagues just called me that this is what is happening inside our shop. The market has got burned, and early in the morning we came and we saw what is happening, what had happened here. So that's the thing that happened. Actually, I cannot tell what happened because we left the market in the evening around 5:30 because our state is in curfew imposed by the government of 6 to 6. That's what I know about the incident. Usually, as you know that in provision we cannot quantify it because we have some pieces, some in carton, some in bags. We cannot quantify it. So we just know that we have got a loss. That's it. You say? A form of advice, maybe if possible, the government should do something to make the market to be a modern market, whereby this issue of zinc and other attachment will not be used in the market. As our able governor have said in the afternoon when he came to visit the incident, he said that he will look into it and make some contacts with the board, market board. If possible, maybe he will turn the market to be a modern market. That's what he promised us.
Also with me is the chairman of the grinding machine section, in person of Ilyasu Raji. Malam Ilyasu can talk in Hausa language. Baba, za ka gaya mana ganin cewa wannan kasuwar jiya ta kama wuta, ko za ka iya gaya mana wani irin asara kuka yi?
Abin da jiya dai Allah ya kai mu da Allah ya nuna mana karfe 9:17 sai muka waye gari da gobara a gefen kasuwar layin da zai tafi layin yan kifi daga tasha zuwa layin yan kifi. Kuma Allah da ikonsa jami'an tsaro da security na Adamawa duk sun haɗu an taimaka da fire service an controlling wutan nan. Allah ya taimake mu kuma shaguna guda 10 suka kone sannan da injina guda 4.
Okay, so shi kenan mun gode. Okay. What Baba is saying is that the inferno has occurred around after 9 o'clock in the evening last night, and more than 6 shops were affected here, and they are also looking for the assistance from government and other individuals looking at the damages that they have experienced in this market.
All right, Bilkisu, we'll stop here for now and we'll be expecting more updates later. Thank you very much. That was our reporter Bilkisu Abubakar in Yola giving us an update of the warehouse fire outbreak and looting of a warehouse which led to the curfew imposed by the state government. Now, agencies saddled with the prosecution of financial crimes and corruption are brainstorming in Abuja for an effective legal and institutional framework for the recovery and management of the proceeds of crime. Austin Anyebe reports that the 4-day workshop is convened by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Center for Socio-Legal Studies.
Management of recovered assets has been a challenge which the Proceeds of Crimes Recovery and Management Act No. 16 of 2022 seeks to address.
We recover assets, we recover properties, we recover vessels, aircrafts and all of that. How do we manage them? You know, seized vehicles, abandoned. You know, that means the society has not had any significant benefit from the recovery effort.
Investigators and legal practitioners from the EFCC and other agencies who have vowed to strip corrupt people of their proceeds of crimes.
POCA was enacted to provide for the seizure, forfeiture, and management of proceeds of unlawful activities.
Our various departments, particularly Proceeds of Crime Management Department, are poised to key into the economic recovery and developmental strategies of this administration.
Unless and until we truly hurt the evil men where it hurts most, which is taking away their resources.
They reiterated their determination for close collaboration to fight criminals. Austin Anyebe, NT News.
The screening of ministerial nominees continues at the Senate, with 4 more nominees taking their turn. They are Senator David Umahi, Oluwale Edun, former Governor Kaduna State Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, and former Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank, Ahmed Dangiwa. We'll now be joining Lagos for more live updates.
Thank you, Najatu. State-run transportation schemes have been directed to reduce fares by 50% as part of